This version of the story begins at the height of Vought's control. Starlight has learned enough to distrust the Seven, the boys know the company is hiding something, and the public still believes superheroes are born rather than manufactured. Compound V remains the secret holding the entire empire together. Our story begins above Manhattan, when a blue-black fracture opens across the afternoon sky. Gojo steps through expecting to land in Tokyo. Instead, he finds giant screens showing Homelander smiling over the words, "America's greatest hero." Crowds fill the avenue below. Vought cameras point in every direction. Gojo studies the billboards, then the caped figure on them, and mutters that someone is trying much too hard. A second later, a blue streak rips through the intersection. A-Train has just finished a private Compound 5 boost and is racing toward a sponsored appearance. He clips a pedestrian, sends shopping bags spinning across the road, and keeps running. Before he can strike a terrified child standing in the crosswalk, he stops dead. Gojo is suddenly between them, one hand resting on the child's shoulder. A-Train's body hangs inches away, trapped against infinity like an insect in glass. Gojo does not attack. He looks past the speedster at the injured civilian, then watches black Vought vans arrive almost instantly. Corporate security pushes witnesses back. Lawyers offer money. A camera operator is ordered to delete his footage. A-Train is not asked whether the victim will live. He is asked whether blood reached the logo on his suit. That is the moment Gojo understands this world. Its monsters do not hide in the dark. They sell tickets. He releases A-Train with a small pulse of blue that drops the speedster onto the hood of a Vought car. Phones rise across the street. The footage is online before security can contain it. An unknown white-haired man humiliating the fastest member of the Seven without throwing a punch. Inside Vought Tower, Ashley Barrett sees a public relations disaster. Stan Edgar sees an acquisition. He orders the stranger invited to the tower, not attacked. By sunset, Gojo is walking through a polished lobby lined with heroic statues and merchandise. Ashley offers him a contract, a costume redesign, a movie trilogy, and a percentage of international licensing. Homelander joins the meeting wearing his perfect television smile, while Black Noir stands silently beside the door. Gojo appears amused until he lifts one edge of his blindfold. The Six Eyes do not see Vought's advertisements. They see Compound V moving through Homelander's blood. They see the same chemical residue in sealed medical cases beneath the conference table. Through the glass floor and concrete levels below, they trace elevators leading to laboratories that do not appear on any public blueprint. Stan offers him a place among gods. Gojo turns toward the live camera Ashley arranged for their surprise announcement and says, "You are not gods. You are actors with very expensive medicine." Then he walks out. Homelander keeps smiling until the elevator doors close. The moment they do, the metal arm of his chair folds beneath his grip. Stan still refuses to panic. He orders Black Noir to follow Gojo, measure the limits of the invisible defense, and recover anything the stranger may have taken. Noir waits until midnight, when Gojo enters an empty parking structure beneath the tower. The lights die one row at a time. A blade drops from above and stops a few inches from Gojo's throat. Noir changes angles. A second knife strikes from behind. Smoke fills the level. Charges detonate beneath Gojo's feet. Every attack slows into stillness before reaching him. Gojo could end the fight immediately, but he watches. Noir never boasts, never wastes movement, and never stops adapting. That discipline earns him more respect than the entire boardroom upstairs. When Noir launches his last blade, Gojo catches it between two fingers after it passes through infinity by invitation. A compact sphere of blue bends the concrete, pulls Noir off his feet, and pins him against a support column without crushing him. "You are good," Gojo tells the silent assassin. "Your employers are the problem." He leaves Noir alive, but removes an encrypted Vought data drive hidden inside the assassin's armor. Before Gojo can examine it, a rough British voice speaks from the darkness. Butcher and the boys had been tracking Noir, hoping he would lead them to a shipment of Compound V. Instead, he led them to someone much more useful. By morning, Frenchie has opened the drive inside the boys' safe house. Huey expects Gojo to be a savior. Butcher expects him to be a weapon. Mother's Milk expects both expectations to get them killed. Starlight appears on a secure monitor and confirms what the files contain. Records of Compound V experiments, civilian deaths, secret payments, and missions the Seven deliberately turned into disasters. Butcher pushes a photograph of Homelander across the table and gives Gojo a simple plan. Kill him. Once the flag is dead, the country will finally see the man underneath. Gojo refuses. He tells Butcher that killing the strongest person is easy. Destroying the system that created him is harder. If Homelander dies in secret, Vought will turn him into a martyr and manufacture another hero. They need the laboratories, the payment records, and living witnesses on every screen in the country. Butcher calls that mercy. Gojo calls it strategy. Their argument ends when every light in the safe house turns red. Homelander has found them. He lands on the roof hard enough to crack the ceiling. Gojo meets him above the building before he can attack anyone inside. Rain moves across the skyline. Homelander offers one final chance to apologize on camera. Gojo asks whether the cape comes off or whether Vought sewed it directly into his ego. The heat vision comes first. Twin red beams cut through the rain and stop against the endless distance around Gojo. Homelander circles at supersonic speed, attacks from behind, and drives both fists forward. Each strike slows. Each one dies inches from Gojo's body. Gojo explains infinity only once. Between them, space is divided again and again. Homelander can cross half the distance, then half of what remains, but he can never arrive. Homelander screams and increases the pressure until the rooftop begins to collapse beneath his own feet. Gojo does not move. For the first time, Homelander is not facing someone stronger than him. He is facing someone to whom his strength is irrelevant. Then Gojo makes a mistake. He laughs. Homelander stops attacking. His expression goes calm, and he looks through the broken roof toward the people below. He finally understands the weakness infinity cannot remove. Gojo is untouchable, but everyone around him is not. Homelander flies away without another word. Stan Edgar studies the rooftop footage and reaches the same conclusion. Vought abandons the goal of killing Gojo. The new plan is to make saving people cost him the war. The company announces that the unknown sorcerer is a foreign terrorist. Edited footage makes it appear that he attacked A-Train and Black Noir without provocation. News anchors repeat the claim. Vought schedules a live emergency rally at its public plaza, packing the streets with civilians, while its technicians begin erasing every server connected to the stolen files. Then 3 disasters begin at once. Stormfront attacks the city power grid and blames Gojo. A Vought transport carrying experimental Compound V is sent speeding toward a crowded station with its brakes disabled. Black Noir, bruised but alive, is ordered to eliminate the witnesses hidden inside the boys' evidence convoy. It is not a battle. It is a trap built out of people. Gojo could chase Homelander and finish their fight. Instead, he divides the field. Starlight goes to the power station, where Stormfront hurls violet lightning through shattered transformers. Maeve disobeys Vought and joins her, using her body to shield trapped workers, while Starlight absorbs enough electricity to force Stormfront from the sky. Kimiko guards the evidence convoy. When Black Noir lands on its roof, their fight tears through a warehouse loading bay. 2 silent killers trading blades, kicks, and broken steel. Noir gains the advantage, but Frenchie triggers the warehouse fire system from the driver's seat. Foam blinds Noir for 1 second. That is enough for Kimiko to drive him through a loading door and drop a suspended steel container between him and the escaping witnesses. At the station, the runaway Vought transport smashes through the first barricade. Gojo appears beside it and tears open the rear doors with blue. One fold in space moves the passengers safely onto the platform. A second pulse pulls empty cars away from the impact path. Only then does Gojo step in front of the transport and let its crushed bumper stop against infinity. For the first time since he arrived, the crowd does not see an invincible man humiliating someone. They see a sorcerer choosing to protect strangers when no camera angle can make it easy. That is exactly why Vought triggers the second stage. Explosives buried beneath the emergency rally rupture the plaza. Glass rains from the lower floors of Vought Tower. Homelander descends through the smoke, holding Huey by the collar. He has left the boys' safe house in ruins and brought one hostage to the cameras. He tells Gojo to kneel. Gojo removes his blindfold. The 6 eyes take in everything at once. The failing supports beneath the plaza, civilians trapped under a collapsing stage, the server purge counting down inside the tower, Butcher and Mother's Milk climbing toward the broadcast control room, and Homelander's fingers tightening around Huey's throat. Raw power cannot solve all of it at the same time. Precision can. Gojo uses red upward, not outward. The controlled repulsion blows falling glass back into the empty side of the building. Blue catches the collapsing stage and drags its steel frame away from the crowd. In the same instant, he folds space and pulls Huey out of Homelander's hand. Homelander attacks while Gojo is still holding the plaza together. His fist stops against infinity, but the force drives cracks through the structure beneath them. Every missed heat vision blast threatens the people behind Gojo. Homelander has finally found a way to make every successful defense feel like failure. Inside the tower, the rest of the story is moving without Gojo. Frenchie keeps the damaged servers alive. Mother's Milk copies the Compound V records. Starlight reaches the broadcast floor, scorched from her fight with Stormfront, and turns Vought's own cameras toward its hidden laboratories. Maeve enters behind her and confirms, live, that the files are real. Butcher reaches the final switch. For one moment, he considers detonating the lab and killing everyone connected to it. Then Huey's voice comes through his earpiece. They came to expose Vought, not become it. Butcher lowers the trigger and starts the upload. Every screen in the plaza changes. The crowd sees children injected with Compound V. They see casualty payments, staged rescues, and orders bearing Vought signatures. They see A-Train's cover-ups, Stormfront's crimes, and Homelander's private threats. The smiling hero on the billboards is replaced by the frightened man hovering above them. Homelander looks at the crowd and waits for them to cheer. No one does. He turns his heat vision toward the screens. Maeve tackles him out of the air before he can fire. Starlight blinds him with a burst of stored electricity. Neither attack can defeat him, but together they force him down into the now evacuated center of the plaza. Gojo releases the damaged structure only after the last civilians reach safety. Then he steps into the crater. Homelander charges. Gojo does not use hollow purple. A beam capable of erasing everything in its path would prove Vought's propaganda for them. He does not need a larger explosion. He needs one clean second. Gojo raises two fingers. Domain expansion, unlimited void. A black sphere closes around only the center of the plaza. Inside, Homelander's speed, strength, and rage become meaningless. Endless information floods every sense. He sees everything and can process nothing. Gojo holds the domain for 0.2 of a second, long enough to stop him, short enough to avoid destroying his mind. When the barrier opens, Homelander drops to his knees. Butcher walks into the crater carrying a metal bar. This is the moment he has wanted for years. Homelander helpless, the world watching, and no one strong enough to stop him. Except Gojo. Infinity catches the bar before it reaches Homelander's skull. Butcher demands to know why. Gojo tells him that if they murder a defeated man on live television, Vought's final lie becomes true. Homelander does not get to escape into death. He gets to live in the world that now knows exactly what he is. Police, soldiers, and former Vought security flood the plaza. This time, they do not point their weapons at Gojo. Maeve stands with the witnesses. Starlight keeps the broadcast running. Across town, Kimiko leaves Black Noir alive beneath the twisted cargo rig. The same mercy Gojo showed him, whether he understands it or not. Stan Edgar is arrested before dawn, still insisting the company can survive bad publicity. Ashley begins naming every executive she can remember. A-Train turns over medical records in exchange for protection. Vought does not vanish in one night, but its spell is broken. It can no longer hide power behind a perfect smile. Gojo finds Homelander restrained inside a reinforced transport. Without the cameras, the cape, or the crowd, he looks smaller. Homelander asks the question he has been avoiding since the rooftop. If Gojo is stronger, why does he not rule? Gojo answers that being the strongest is not freedom to do anything. It is having the power to do anything, and choosing what not to do. Later, the fracture in space opens above the same intersection where he arrived. Huey asks whether Gojo really trusts this world to repair itself. Gojo looks toward Starlight helping survivors, Maeve giving evidence, Mother's Milk calling his daughter, and Butcher pretending he learned nothing. Not completely, Gojo says, but they finally have a chance to try. He steps toward the portal, pauses, and asks whether this universe has at least one shop that knows how to make decent mochi. Then the blue light closes behind him. So what do you think? Did Gojo save the world of the boys? Or did he only remove the excuse that kept everyone afraid? And who should enter this universe next? Tell me in the comments, and subscribe for more alternate stories where one impossible arrival changes everything.